What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Rage Traders Nrl Supercoach podcast. Wolfie here. Your boy is back. Now, some of you may not have known, I did put it up in the Discord and the YouTube post, but I am have currently moved. And so sorry for the delay in any sort of podcasts and videos. Maybe you're thinking this guy has fallen off the planet. Well, no, I just moved houses, and if you didn't know, I had basically 5 to 6 days of no internet. Telstra just gave me the biggest runaround, but it's finally sorted. We're finally here, and we're finally back talking about Supercoach fantasy for the NRL. So let's get straight into it. As always, thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for supporting me, and let's get straight into this brand new round 16. Let's not go into a wrap up of last week. You guys know everything that happened. I wouldn't really want to do that. Let's talk about trades. Let's talk about ideas. Let's talk a bit about Origin as well. We'll do that towards the end of the video if you wanted to stay and have a listen to that. Just my thoughts and maybe what you're thinking around that. Just an update to those, obviously, and no one knows, but had a pretty good round, 1,026 for myself, 3,005 spots I've gained this week. So going to 13,416. A lot of thought going into this week. I feel like this week is quite a crucial week in terms of whether we pick up some of these players that didn't get picked for Origin or haven't been Origin candidates, like Dylan Edwards, like Hamoli Olakuatu. There's so much really to speak about here. I'm also running on this is random, but I'm running on a one monitor setup, and I've been so used to having a double monitor. Like I'd have OBS and like chat running on the monitor on the right. So now it feels a bit weird, but then I love having the extra mouse room. I don't know what you guys prefer, but double monitor setup is always the go in my opinion. I had a good Origin fantasy as well. Overall rank of 1,338 now. I know a lot of you maybe don't care about that, but I had a very big feeling on Selwyn Combo. I didn't captain or vice captain him, but I had him in my team. I wish I did, because I really thought him and Hammer were going to have big games. I went more with the Hammer route, but still very happy with Cobo. And just some things there that obviously I just thought it would be a Queensland win. So I went full ball into that as well. All right, let's talk Supercoach. Let's get straight into it, because today is Friday and the first round starts tonight, which is Newcastle versus St. George at McDonald Jones Stadium. So let's just talk about some of the trades. Let's talk about where I'm sort of going. Okay, one is, do I need to trade this week? The answer for me is no, I don't. Besides Kai Pearce-Paul, or let's put it like this. I have Kai Pearce-Paul and Reece Walsh. They are definite trades, but doesn't need to be this week. And that's what I sort of look at. Now, there's two of the obvious trades this week that I think a lot of people are looking at. One is Dylan Edwards and one is Olakuatu. Now, the one thing that worries me with Olakuatu is not his performance. It's not the team he plays for. It's now that New South Wales got absolutely, basically obliterated in that second half, and Dylan Lucas wasn't, I wouldn't say he was amazing. I mean, every NRL player should be able to tackle, and if you're getting points put on you and you've got a high tackle count, well, I don't think that's something that you sort of brag about. So I expect Hamoli Olakuatu to be coming into this team, no doubt, and you're going to miss that round 18 clash for the Sea Eagles, which is against Parramatta. And I think that's part of the reason why I would bring him in. But there's like no chance that this guy doesn't start or be on the interchange at least. There's no way he's missing out for this third decider. I just cannot see it coming. So I'm sort of sitting back saying, well, if he doesn't play, like he plays against the Bulldogs at a core stadium. Now, he could easily get a 60 to 80 here. Then he's got the Melbourne Storm at Pines Park. Again, this is going to be a full strength Melbourne Storm team. This would be a great clash of a game. He could easily go 60 to 100 in this game. But then you're missing out on 18. Then I would dare say, it's pretty good, because I think him playing the Sunday is really, really advantageous. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, is the safe play and the smart play just to straight swap him? I think he's going to play 3 out of the 4 rounds. I also think the thing that favors us here is there is no doubt in my mind that he is going to be absolutely filthy that he didn't play in game 2, and he will want to absolutely say, this is why you should have chosen me. This is why I should have been in the New South Wales team. And that scares me a lot. So I think the simple trade here is a lot of people will go Kai Piss-Poor to Amole Olakau'atu. If I do that, it does break my bank a bit. And that's the problem. I can't even afford him. So I go down to negative 45. So I have to make a double trade on that. I've still got Lukey there to play with. I've still got Drinkwater to play with and Reece Walsh. So I'm not worried about that. Next is Dylan Edwards. Now, I don't know how much of a chance that there is going to be that Dylan Edwards, plays in this Origin team in round 3. Now, in my opinion, he should, and we'll get into that a bit later. But from what I've been seeing, why wouldn't you want Edwards for a decider? This guy's played in multiple premiership finals. He plays alongside Cleary. He plays alongside Brian To'o. He's played alongside Stephen Crichton. Now, if that is the case, it's still okay because this guy plays against Gold Coast at Seabus Stadium. He then plays against the North Queensland Cowboys at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. These 2 games alone should have points in them. If he doesn't get picked, he then versus South Sydney Rabbitohs in round 18. Then he versus, and then they have, the bye in round 19. So is he, and again, this could be another Reece Walsh scenario where you're picking up someone for 2 rounds. Is it worth it? If he's not playing Origin, I think it's definitely worth it. If he is playing Origin, I think it's a bit iffy. Now, there were talks and were rumors that before the Origin second game, Cleary was getting injections. Does this bolster now the thought of us trading out Cleary, banking $976,000 and going, thanks, I'll see you back in round 21-ish, 22-ish when we can grab you then? And I think it does. The problem is, who do you go to if you don't get Cleary? Now, I really like the thought of Cleary, Tamari Martin coming up. If you have Tamari Martin, then you get someone like Fletcher Sharp, so on and so forth. So that is an avenue we can look at. I also really like the thought of maybe if you do hold Cleary, you hold Hines, you don't have to worry about them for the rest of the season. The problem is you're losing them in a lot of rounds. If you think your team is stable enough, or maybe you don't have enough trades for that, then that is something that you sort of need to think in a situational sense. Is this right for how my team is looking and how many trades I have? The one thing I guess I also was thinking is if I don't trade this week, my problems are still going to remain in the team. So Kai Piss-Poor will still be there. Reece Walsh will still be there. And these guys are must trades. So I'm really coming at a point of, I think this week I'll be looking at doing the 2 trades with no boost. Kai Piss-Poor to Hamole Olakau'atu. And of course, maybe just downgrading Reece Walsh or likely Scotty Drinkwater down to sort of a cash maker and go from there. That is my plan. Now, what I can also do is something that's really cool is I can utilize this flex position, which this is why I love flex. So Reece Walsh will come to my fullback 2 position, Drinkwater will come into flex, and I can get anyone I want. It could be a cheapie, it could be whatever. So that's something I'm looking at as well. Now we are going to go through some pods and people who I was looking at sort of later down the track or even now that you could sort of pod up on. But at the moment, it's getting to the point of I don't want to overtrade because I fear that there is going to be some really, really crazy things happening in the last 4 to 5 rounds of this competition that could hurt a lot of people, especially with injuries as well. We've got carnage this whole season. So that's something I'm looking at. If we're talking about sort of other people I'd be looking at getting in, I really next week, not next week, apologies. I really don't mind the thought of Valentine Holmes. There's no way he's going to get picked for Origin unless injuries occur. He plays in round 18. This could be the time to get him, and he versus West Tigers in round 18, versus Canberra next week. if we see a better St. George team, and especially if Kalen Ponga doesn't play tonight, who is a huge piece of the Newcastle puzzle, St. George have been playing much better footy. They're not going to be a top 8 team, but they still want to go out with like a bit of momentum. I think it could be a really, really nice pick. They also, in round 19, have the bye, but that could be a bit of a pod play for us players that don't have, all the marquee. We don't have Karaz in the center like myself. I also still have Mars Yu, who I'm banking on to sort of be a big point scorer for me in the next 3 rounds. So that's something I was looking at. The other thing I was looking at is absolutely going gangbusters on this Dolphins team. Now, not going overboard, but if we look at the Dolphins, besides, I think their round 21 bye, right? I think it's round 21. They have West Tigers at Campbelltown this week. They then have New Zealand at Suncorp Stadium. They then have Newcastle at McDonald Jones Stadium. They then have Sharks at KO Stadium. They then have the North Queensland Cowboys at Suncorp Stadium. Then they have the bye in round 21. They then have St. George in round 22 at Wynn Stadium, and then Broncos at Suncorp. There is a lot of points in this team, and although I think it might be a bit too late to go to Osako, having like Farnworth, Bostock, and Osako in my team, or Farnworth, Bostock, Katoa, really, really does entice me a lot. I think Katoa could be one of those players that towards the end run of the season could be absolutely huge for this Dolphins team and in Supercoach. And I really, really, really am tempted to go there. Another halfback that I really think we could focus on is Sam Walker. Now, not yet. I think you wait until around round 20, round 19, see if he backs up after round 18. But I've just got this feeling that after the Origin series, especially if Queensland win, this guy could fly towards the end home run of the season. Now, Sydney Roosters will still have to play for their position. They want to get the best position as possible. Nothing is set in stone for them. So I think this could be an absolute grab where you maybe make a play for Sam Walker in towards sort of an end last 8 round run. In my opinion, I was looking at it and I was like, damn, he is cheap. So if we look at his cost at the moment, $620,200. $100 break even, so still likely has a bit of money left in him. A lot to be done there. Now, at the moment, I'm still holding Lukey. Really, really happy with just overseeing Lukey. A lot of people, I think, have gone off Lukey, which I didn't mind holding because after the round 19, I think it's round 19, they have Manly at Pines. Then they have Dolphins. These 2 games alone, I think there's a part of me that thinks Lukey could be close to a season keeper or just someone I can hold until around sort of like round 22, round 23, where I want to look at getting someone of that premium status. But he's been so good this season that I just don't want to get rid of him at the moment. Other trades, let's just go through the trades at the moment for everyone in Supercoach and talk about them. So the obvious one is Kai Pearce-Paul to Homole Olakau'atu. Kai Pearce-Paul to Tony Sukaf, that's how I pronounce it. That's 2,448 trades. That is your cash grab there. And a lot of people also going Jenkins. Now, I don't mind the Jenkins play. I prefer Jenkins when Nathan Cleary is there, but I still don't mind it whatsoever. I think the biggest thing that we're seeing is that people are really attacking this Penrith draw where they have Gold Coast away, North Queensland away, Souths at home, into a bye, into Brisbane at home, and Parramatta away. That is really, really strong, and I see the play for Dylan Edwards. The only thing that worries me is that if Dylan Edwards kills it over these next 2 games, he's going to get picked for Origin, I think. I think Tedesco, although he had a game winner, he hasn't done much else bar that. Now, it's Laurie Daly, so I don't know. Dylan Edwards could still be playing, and maybe based off Laurie Daly's coaching decisions and how he picks players, maybe Dylan Edwards is the safest super coach pick you've ever seen. People also going Lasardi to Homole Olakawatu, Chester to Jenkins. So people really retargeting Jenkins here, and Tommy Turbo. So that is amazing that people are, I think right now people are just getting to the point where they need to take the gamble and they're going to go, okay, I'm going on Tommy Turbo. If he lights it up, I'm going to make big ranks. And if he doesn't, well, it's most really cost me any chance at doing something really good in the season. So round 16, they have Bulldogs away. Then they have Melbourne in round 17 at home, Parramatta away, North Queensland at home, Gold Coast away. For me, I really just want to wait until round 18 against Parramatta. Want to see how he is against Bulldogs. Want to see how he is against Melbourne at home, and then unload for that 3 game sort of hit into Sharks and bye. So that would be me personally. I don't want to unleash him into the Bulldogs away, and I definitely don't want to unleash him into Melbourne with a full strength team in round 17. But if you want to take the gamble now, go for it. That is completely fine. Reece Walsh coming out for Tony Sukkar, or Sukkar, sorry. I apologies on that. That's completely fine. A cash grab. And another trade. Oh, people were doing it. So I was looking at this a lot. Isaiah Papali'i. I'm actually surprised people were looking at this, but I said to myself, and I was looking at his stats, I was like, damn, do I go Papali'i over Homole Olakawatu? He's not going to play Origin, and people have caught on to it. Wow, that's actually super surprising. I love that. I love that. Now, let's have a quick look at his stats. The problem with Isaiah Papali'i is he's not always an 80-minute player. That's the biggest thing. And if he was, he would have been in my team ages ago. Now, I'm using NRL fantasy stats for this, but we can see here in... I'm not signed in. You animal. I can't do it. Yeah, but generally he gets around 55, 60 minutes sometimes, and then he gets 80 minutes. And that's the problem with Isaiah Papali'i. Now, his base, who he is and how he plays, amazing. Absolutely amazing. This guy can rack up points so easy. I'm just going to check now on their last game on round 14 what he did. Oh, that was 68-0 though. We don't read into that too much, right? He didn't score. Let's have a quick little look because it does matter. Isaiah Papali'i, he played 80 minutes in that 68-0 game. Very, very interesting. So I wonder now with the restings as well, like Isaiah Yeo playing 71 minutes in the Origin, likelihood of Papali'i playing even more minutes, higher. This could be a really nice play because you're guaranteed to get 3 games out of him if there's no injury, compared to Homole Olakawatu, who is going to play 2 and then into Origin and a possible resting. Now, that's only 1 game extra because Penrith are going to play or be in the bye on round 19. So is that worth it? I don't know. It's so hard to say. Like if Homole Olakawatu only comes out tonight and drops a 60 against Bulldogs, you're like, but he is running at some pretty weak defense and a team that is in a very vast amount of danger. So, I mean, I don't know what to expect from tonight. Not tonight, against the Manly Bulldogs game. So that's something we need to look at. And apologies also if this podcast is just like, sounds like it's a bit all over the shop. I just wanted to get something out there for you guys before the round kicked off because I hadn't done anything in a while because of me moving. So I just wanted to talk some Supercoach and see where we land. Now, the good news is Tamari Martin is still locked in and playing. I'm so happy to see that. I don't think anything was wrong with their game last week in terms of like, it doesn't look like they've lost a gear or anything. So I'm super happy about bringing him in. Captains for this week, let's talk a bit about captains. Now, if Ponga does back up, which I doubt, but if he does, boom, 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 Kalen Ponga. You could put a VC on Marju. I personally won't be doing that. I really like this Valentine Holmes play. I really do. It's very dangerous, but it could work out. he's such a scary own. He is such a scary own. And being the first game of the week, it hurts when you trade in a player in the first game of the week and they just do a bit average and you're like, oh, here we go again. So I think the Dolphins West Tigers game is going to be an absolute score fest and something we really need to could focus on. A lot of people looking at Herbie Farnworth. I think the right side is going to get a lot of points. Boy, if Selwyn Cobbo was playing this one, get ready for some crazy plays. He's been in absolutely great form. Again, you've got Penrith Gold Coast, so you could look at someone like Edwards for sure in this one. A lot of people, I think, will be doing VC Edwards. I really like the thought of maybe, your safe one is obviously Terrell May. You could look at doing a Terrell May in this one, but because we're playing 17 this week, it makes it harder to sort of get that free VC loop. Another one is Suafa'a Logo as captain against the Canberra Raiders. I'm not sure if the boys from Melbourne will back up, but if they do, geez, he's looking the goods. Nothing else I would really say besides those two. Like a Dylan Edwards vice captaincy could be great. I don't mind Herbie into Dylan Edwards. VC Herbie, Captain Edwards. That could be the play. Sounds simple, but sometimes simple just gets you there in Supercoach. I haven't 100% confirmed my trades yet. I'm still going to look into that, but so far, I think, obviously Kai Pearce-Paul and Reece Walsh are going to go for me. So what I do with those, I'll update you guys in the Discord and everything like that. We'll keep it like that for now. Very simple week, but a lot to think about still. If you have any questions, just chuck them in the Discord, the link will be in the description, or just chuck them in the comments for the YouTube video. Wolfie here. We'll have more of a video coming in through the weekend, and next week we'll get back onto the normal schedule. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Wolfie here from the Rage Traders. Speak to you soon.